Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Strong. I thank you guys for listening. I appreciate everyone being a part of Unapologetically Strong. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Andre Russell. What's up, man?
What's going on, Dr. King? Peace and blessings.
So we can't do the doctor here. We got to just be, we just got to be Eric and Andre.
Well, I call you Doc or I call you E.
All right, you can take your pick, man. Whatever you choose. So, I appreciate you coming in because this is actually my time to actually enjoy the people that I come in contact with. And so you are one, and from the moment that you and I met, you've always been someone that I enjoy. I've also, so just so that, let me give a little backstory. So Andre or Dre is the COO of Sports and Spine. And so he and I came in contact because I was looking to connect with other, individuals in the medical field. Mm-hmm. Can we say it like that? Yeah, individuals in the medical field. And so he and I hit it off. And then, we came in and I received services.
No, before that, we had
Yeah, that's right.
I came to your office for a 10-minute tour.
Yeah.
We wound up speaking for about 90 minutes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
That's how I go though. You gotta ensure that when you meet someone or you meet a spirit, you gotta commune with that spirit. But before I'm not gonna go any further, what I want to do is just get your background because you got a pretty extensive background. You're from Cleveland. Right? Born and raised in Cleveland. You went off, graduated high school, and then went to Toledo.
Correct.
One of the few brothers that, studied, human resource management. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that was a major.
So I didn't either.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to be a leader in business.
Yeah.
And I knew I had a connection to people.
Okay.
And I was discouraged to go into HR.
Okay.
For several reasons. It's not a lot of people.
Because I don't see brothers like you in the HR. When you go see HR, it's not you.
I think the bullheadedness and the stubbornness in me, how my upbringing made me want it to be an outlier in HR. Okay. So it's primarily dominated by Caucasian women.
Right.
And then a lot of minorities in HR, especially men.
Right.
But I was hell-bent on sitting in front of the class, getting the best grades, wearing my hat backwards, and then getting the opportunity to go into an organization and use what I learned to try to change organizations.
Got you.
And as you can imagine, my elders, my advisors, they said, that's not a great idea.
It's not a good look.
Right. But we're here.
So you went from there and then you went back to school. So what's the time frame? So it looked like it was about 6-year time frame or a couple year time frame. You went back to school. So you went back to school and got your MBA at OU.
Correct. So I've always worked with Sports and Spine.
Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed that. That's what I was about to say that.
Intern. I went back to get my master's because education is a key that can unlock doors.
Right.
Now, you can get through the door without education.
Correct.
You can bulldoze it.
Correct.
You can bombard it. You can have somebody open it for you.
Got you.
But in our industry, in medical, it's probably easiest to get the right key to unlock the doors you needed.
Exactly.
So where we were as a company, we had started collaboration with some bigger hospitals, bigger medical organizations. And I needed those credentials to get more keys to open doors, to get into rooms, to have the meetings. Then I also wanted to be and still want to be the man at Sports and Spine. So,
because right now you're behind an extraordinary brother. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I call him affectionately big homie.
Yeah.
But Leon Anderson III is second generation PT. He is revered as a scientist. We call it a clinician scientist, and as a businessman. And he's been my mentor since I've been 13.
Yeah.
So our relationship, what solidifies our relationship is my firstborn son is named Anderson after him.
All right.
But I think it's our responsibility when you have the luck and the fortune I've had to be around great energy and great people is to take the baton and move it forward.
Exactly.
Not just take it and sit with it or try to live off their green pastures, but it's my responsibility to put us in a position for the next 20 years to be even better.
Nice.
Which it took me some growth to say that because you don't want to sound arrogant, but I think he put me in position.
I was going to say that.
Be better.
I was going to say that because he's a pretty cool dude. And what I especially in our community, the concept of arrogance have confidence and arrogance have gotten, the bad rap, so to speak. So what I hear is confidence, and what I've always actually heard from you is confidence, the confidence to actually go out and do. So when you and I first started, meeting one another, right, there's a couple things that pointed out that you did that showed me that you're an individual of confidence, not arrogance. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a pass on that.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to go ahead and give you a pass.
I have a brother affectionately known as Killer that says, F arrogance. Like, we are not confident enough as black people in our community.
Right.
He's taught my nieces and our children not to be braggadocious, but you are divinely, beautifully made, and you need to accept and embrace that, because someone's going to try to knock you down anyway. Right.
And that's the part. We have so many individuals that can take, pride in knocking us down, right? Take pride in knocking us down. So we should not work to knock down ourselves, because we got other people that's going to knock us down. So let's lift us up. Absolutely. All right. So before we get too far into it, because, we got our break. So you started at Sports and Spine, which is located in Beechwood, right over there. What is that, the Porsche dealership?
Yes, we're behind the Porsche. So off Richmond Road.
There you go.
Richmond.
What's the address?
It's like 3365 Richmond Road. We're in Suite 110.
Got you. And so you started there in 2003 as an intern. And so I'm going to jump forward a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more on the other side. But now, one of the things that I know that you take pride in is this concept of mentorship. So when I see that you started in 2003, got your degree in 2000, got your first degree in 2007, that's a 4-year period of you actually, getting, poured into.
Yeah. So mentorship, obviously you meet people and then they want to give you the knowledge. But what I don't think our community talks enough about is hard work or work ethic. So it was a distributive relationship.
Right.
At Toledo, I changed my courses to be Monday through Thursday only. Okay. I drove home. We said we were turnpike bullies at that time. I came home Thursday evening. I worked all day Friday, Saturday if needed. Got my hair cut, went back to school, and I did that for 2 years.
Right.
Sometimes our society makes working hard, especially for someone, a negative thing.
Exactly.
But during that time, I got all the knowledge. I was able to be better at school. I had other interns at Fortune 500 companies, but I kind of knew what to do because you were actually doing it every day. Right. But I sacrificed. I never had spring break. We didn't go to a lot of parties.
Right.
I didn't do weekends with my friends, and my roommates worked during the weekend. So that was our sacrifice to get to where we need to get to. And my advice for young people is just put in the work relentlessly. Sometimes you're not going to see the results for a long time. So that's 2002, 3. I didn't make partner to 2015.
Right. Because that's around the time that you graduated with your MBA. Which, once again, if you look at it, you said, so even if I look at when you started 2003, so we're looking at a 12-year growth process for you, that you allowed yourself. And when I say allow, that is actually what I'm saying. There are so many individuals that don't allow themselves to be poured into, and they believe that that's beneath them.
Well, and I don't want to give the audience the wrong message. I struggled with it.
Well, we know you're not perfect.
Yes, I struggled with it as well. So I'm from the inner city. I'm from the projects. Yeah. During this time, all my peers had a lot of money.
Okay.
And I'm in school. I'm wearing a shirt and tie.
Right.
I'm in the same block with a tenth of what they have. So that was a struggle there. My first suit was donated to me. I had to get braces as an adult. I had to learn how to speak, how to have good
posture. How to enunciate.
Correct. Right. And I still
we still get that.
That's really the issue. But the key is the struggle doesn't go away. Like the storybook tells you, then you lived happily ever after. Right. It's constant pruning, gardening, refining, questioning yourself. That's why you gotta have good people, young, old, and in kind around you all the time to tell you, keep going.
And the idea that hard work is for the sucker is actually, something that even in this day and age, we're trying to, combat. It's the idea of work ethic. And the thing, you get it quick, you lose it quick, right? You get it long, it stay with you longer. So let's go backwards a little bit. Cause I know, you got a lot going on. What I want to know first, this is Unapologetically Strong, and I always like to ask because the concept of strength is I guess it's transitional, right? Everybody's strength comes from somewhere else. But my first question that I want to ask you is, so where do you find your strength?
So my greatest strength comes from God.
Okay.
I believe we're all from the Creator, and one day we'll return to the Creator. So that statement is a loaded statement in itself. But I think if you start there, for me, it gives me humility. So we're all mortal men and women.
Right.
And we are sinful, and we're going to make mistakes.
Gotcha.
So we talked a little bit about arrogance, confidence. That's during the world. At the end of the day, I'm going to humble myself. I'm on my hands and knees, and I'm going to submit to God. Knowing that happens every day.
Every day.
I'm not going to ever miss a day. Puts you in a different mindset, and it allows me to be unapologetically myself amongst God's people.
The idea of weakness. You do a lot, and you allow yourself to do a lot. Do you allow yourself to understand your human weakness?
Absolutely. So I cannot dance.
You can what? You
I'm
can't.
probably the worst dancing black man.
Wait a minute, you just broke out with I can't dance.
Because it is if you want to look at a jovial weakness, it's a jovial weakness. Eric, I think there's points in my life where I've been weak in relationships, weak at work, and then you expose those, or you identify them, which is a better term, and then you make them a strength. But Jay-Z's verse is like a Rubik's Cube. Right. Once you fix one color, you F up the other color.
To fix one.
I think it's a constant work in progress.
Yeah. The weakness, definitely in our Black community, or, you've been knowing me for a while and we've had discussions. I'm always looking to uplift, the people I come from. When you're working with someone, even working within yourself, how can you recognize and also accept your weakness?
I think that's a great question. For me, the number one tool is I do not lie to myself.
Okay.
I may lie to you. I may lie to other people.
Right.
But probably about 10 years ago, I made a strong commitment to always tell myself the truth.
Okay.
So my strong belief in God, and I'm not going to ever lie to myself.
Yeah.
That's where it starts for me.
That lie is a weird thing, because it's the easiest thing is to lie externally. The hardest thing is to lie internally, because that's where we begin to see that pathology. That's where we see, I'm a therapist and they know I'm a therapist. When I'm working with a client, the very first couple months, I can see the amount of lies that they've told themselves as well as others. How I know when a client is ready for me to let them go, because they don't want to go. But for me to let them go is when they stop lying to themselves.
So that concept, the lie is then supported by evidence that we go collect to make that lie believe true to us. So I had to learn the skill of being just good, bad, and ugly.
Right.
As you mentioned to me off air, be empty first. Yeah. And don't look for evidence to support that, hey, I'm not enough, or I am enough, or I'm the man, or I'm from this environment, so it should be this way. Yeah. Just blank statement, what really happened. What happened?
And I think strength is quiet. So when I think about strength, a lot of times I think about what it sounds like, right? What it looks like. And in my, history in my life, the quietest people have been the strongest people. Have you noticed this as well?
I have, and that's something I aspire to be. So I would gauge myself as in the middle of the road. Yeah. It's fun being loud sometimes, if I'm being honest.
No, yes. I get it. And it's really, once again, we go back to that box, right? Putting in boxes. You have to be your whole self. And when you allow yourself to be your whole self, I think you see a little bit more. So for you, before we jump out on our first break, when do you allow yourself to see your whole self?
Hopefully daily, but I think it comes with other caveats. Okay. I'm not enough to see my whole self. So your reflection, my family's reflection, my coworkers, the people around me. You hear all the time someone's opinion is none of my business, but it actually is, because they have a journey and they have experiences as well. 100%. All that pours into seeing your whole self. Then after the job is done, it's almost like an internal survey. How do I feel? How do I think I did? How does the world say I did? And then when you pray routinely, you kind of get a rhythm of what God's going to speak to you and how it feels in your spirit. Yeah. Ultimately, that's when I know something's right or wrong.
Yeah. You feel that internal, you find what God's voice sounds like to you. and you roll from there.
My son asked that question because it's not an actual voice. It's what I'm trying to explain to him. And it's hard to explain to a 12-year-old.
What do you sound like? You sound like Ma? No, well, we're going to take a quick break. This is Unapologetically Strong on WOVU 95.9 FM. 95.9 FM. This is Eric King, Unapologetically Strong. We got Brother Dre on it. So on the other side, Dre, we really jumped into the sports and spine, right? We jumped into that, and the amount of impact. So what I want to do on this side, I just want you to talk about how, because what I remember, and don't quote me on this, sports and spine has been around for a while.
21 years.
Yeah, it was handed down. And it's one of the few and first, black-owned physical therapy, I guess, institutions, right?
Yes.
Is that about right?
It is. So PT in general is 3.7% Black.
Got you.
We have over 90% of our teammates are minority.
Exactly.
Just simple things. Sports and spine, I'll talk all day about us, but it's the place people go to get better.
Yeah.
It definitely changed my life.
Okay.
And it changed my life from everything from A to Z. You notice I said teammates.
Yeah.
I've taken the word employee out.
Yeah.
I believe that people are all equal in God's eyes. What separates us is responsibility,
right,
pay.
Right.
Everything else should be equal.
And when you walk into the organization, it's a free-flowing, chill organization. But you didn't start it, right?
I did not.
That was passed down to you, and you allowed yourself to take what was passed down to you and go that next level. Because right now, in 2020, you were named, Crane's 40 under 40?
Yeah, I think it was 21.
Was it 21? Okay.
Yes. It was, and that was huge for us.
Yeah.
I wanted it personally, just not lying, but to see our patients, the community, and my teammates, how happy they were about it. And it was right after COVID. So it was one of the first events I went outside post-COVID. And then it helps build your confidence back to the work ethic and the things that you're putting in. I didn't know I was nominated. So I was nominated by several people. Some remained anonymous, but one of my teammates nominated me. Yeah. And to see your peers have those words for you, and then see your community and your city recognize you for that was big for us.
That's beautiful, because your success or an individual's success is a lot of times dictated by who you affect and who you allow yourself to be connected to. And so you allowed yourself to be connected to Sports and Spine, and you became the CEO in 2015?
2014. So actually, we have a clinic in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Columbus. I was afforded the opportunity, me and a colleague, to move to Charlotte and run that facility. Good. So this was shortly after my internship, a couple of years under my belt. And at the time, the clinic was average at best or a little failing. And it was going to be this or nothing. Right. No children, no spouse. Free to go.
Freedom.
Yes, moved to Charlotte and turn that clinic around.
Nice.
And then we had the opportunity to come home because our enterprise and operations were growing significantly here. Right. And as a clinician, the other stakeholders or owners were PTs. Right. It's very hard to run the business and treat the patient because I am not a clinical person. I had an opportunity. If you give me opportunity, I'm going to go full gusto.
Roll with it. Roll with it.
With everything that God.
Right.
If you tell me there's a 1% chance, I'm going to give my earnest energy towards that 1% every time. And that was the case here.
Yeah. And so they handed it to you.
Not handed. No, I can't say that.
Well, I'm saying it in that way. So let's flip it then. You were allowed to take the partnership of the vision.
Let me explain to young people. I was allowed to have the opportunity to buy in. Yeah. Which
are we talking money?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you got to say that plain, actually.
Correct. It was very clear to me it wasn't going to be any sweat equity.
Got you.
But my performance allowed me the opportunity to even get into the conversation to purchase in.
Got you.
And if you're a young man or woman that's looking to buy a business, start a business, or make partner, you want to do so on your own dime. This is my opinion.
And I like that. And so Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because in this day and age, especially in the last 4 years since COVID, we've been seeing a lot of individuals saying, go out and make your own. What you're actually talking about is something that is not new. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. The concept of buying into something that you have or that you will own also. Mm-hmm. And so what I heard is you had the opportunity to buy into something that was already established, not actually go out and create your own. That had to be kind of tough.
Yes and no, because of my upbringing, my mentorship. Mm-hmm. It's a brand new car. It's constantly maintenance. Mm-hmm. I've driven in it my whole adult life.
Right.
It would make sense for me to take the key at some point and get into the passenger or the driver's seat.
Got you.
Now, I did start other businesses during my tenure at Sports and Spine, and it was very difficult. But you could put yourself through the endurance of doing that just to say you did it, or I could take something that works, and I believe I have the skill set to make it work better. Which was the case at Sports and Spine.
And that's the thing is, I truly believe that we, especially an individual that has, your type of intellect, your type of drive, can pretty much do anything, right? So
except dance.
Right. Except dance. But you decided to say, okay, so I know that I can do anything, not only because, of the God I have in me, but also my skills that God have given me. But this is what I choose to do. And this is the vision that I've chose to buy into. And letting that go, that is a point of growth, right? Mm-hmm. Because right now we're in this, I guess, this atmosphere of get yours, get now, and create it all by yourself.
Eric, it failed miserably my first year as partner.
Yeah,
and I would be remiss if I didn't share that. It was not roses.
Right.
One of our partners left.
Okay.
I come in. The landscape of healthcare is changing. For us, it's reimbursement.
Yeah.
That was changing as well.
Yeah.
It was not easy. And then I spent many nights questioning, is this a good decision? You know?
Right.
However I need to get the funds,
late nights.
I got them.
Right.
You're in at that point.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm preaching or saying, the work and the journey of the work. If you trust that, you trust yourself.
Correct.
I wasn't in it for a 36-month flip or a 12-month flip. This is my lifestyle and my life's work at this point. And I'm in this for a long, long time.
Because you've implemented, because you and I have spoken about the program that you have, right? You pretty much mapped out like, hey, this is how you get them in high school. This is how you turn them into internship. Was this program that you and I spoke about, was it there already? Was that and you just put spokes on it, right?
The bones were there. So our team, even the prior Sports and Spiners, they always mentored and had students. I did not start that.
Good.
But it wasn't many students who looked like me and performed like me.
Right.
And even in college, we considered ourselves the black sheep. We were definitely too hood for school, but we weren't hood enough back in the projects anymore.
Yeah, I got you.
So you were in a small minority group.
Yeah.
I didn't never want another student to feel that way.
Got you.
Second part is I'm in Candyland. I do not know that PT is 3%.
Yeah.
Lower than 4% black.
Yeah.
Because of my surroundings.
Yeah.
So when I go out to other cities, go visit other PT clinics, I literally cannot believe there's not another person of color in the building, in the city, in the county.
Wow.
So those were some of the motivations. Like, this is what we need.
So we all, when we get into those rooms when we don't see people like us, there's a certain amount of anxiety that kicks in. Talk a little bit about the anxiety of walking in a room. And when we say 3%, that is America. Is that what we talking about?
Yes. Now, Eric, this is a true competitive advantage for me.
Yeah.
Growing up poor and in the projects, I do not have that anxiety.
Okay.
In those rooms, I feel like I am just as good as you. And if we get the opportunity to go one-on-one, I'm going to crush you. And that has helped and hurt me, especially early in my career. But I just never
everything's a competition.
Fear ever. Because I feel like, look, you've never dealt with not having the lights on or having to go to the neighbors for sugar or having to deal with roaches or rats or having to deal with, because I wear this sneaker, I'm going to fight.
But wait. Let's flip it then. So what I often see, the chip, right?
It's a huge chip.
When right. So when individuals, they may not have that anxiety because it was quote unquote forced out of them, especially black men, right? They have what's called a chip. and they speak from that chip. And what I hear you saying is, I didn't have that anxiety, but I definitely had that chip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think of a rocket ship going into space. When it's on land in the United States at NASA, it's this huge machine.
Right.
But as it ascends to each atmosphere, it has to shed something to go higher.
Yeah.
And that chip was something I had to let go to the next level.
Right.
If I'm going to be a great leader for my teammates and my community, that chip can only get me to this ceiling because it's hurting me more. So you try to let that go, and that's why you keep good people around you.
The crazy part, and this we about to cut out on the break, not a lot of people get that. We've seen it in public eye, right? The individuals that have the chip and just can't let it go and just can't shed that chip. And I like that we're talking about it in more of a private level because we see it. We see it with sports individuals who can't just leave that part behind. We see it in business individuals who just can't, or pop people who just can't leave that part behind. But what I like is that you've chosen to let that part go, and that's the key.
It kind of chose me, and if we have time next segment, I'll tell you
Okay.
why.
Okay. I like how you set that up. So we're going to jump out on a quick break. This is WOVU 95.9 FM. Welcome back. WOVU 95.9 FM. I'm your host, Eric King. This is Unapologetically Strong. We were talking with Dre on the other end. Let's go back to this chip because I want to expound on it a little bit. That letting go of the chip, you said you had a little bit more to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mentioned it found me. So heavy definitely is the head to wear the crown. It's easier to have a chip on your shoulder when you're 15, 16, and it's just you. Or for me, I didn't have siblings. I didn't know of my siblings till later in life. But now you have children, you have a spouse, you have teammates, you have a businesses. That chip is so costly because you're making decisions for 100 plus people now. So you either adjust, pivot, or you let the chip be the downfall for all of y'all, which people before me never allowed to happen. And it's my responsibility not to let that happen.
Yeah. That chip, I think we have to put it on. Right. And I like to call it outdated software sometimes because it does. That chip gets us to where we need to be at times, but then we have to let it go. Just like you just said with the rocket, right? The rocket blasts off, it has to shed those boosters. If not, it's not going to do the job that it needs to do. And so when we're working with when we're mentoring, which you actually do, we need to teach people that there are certain survival techniques that are no longer useful. And so a lot of times the chip is no longer useful. So I do want to bring in the other side of your life. So not only are you a father, you're a husband. Let me put it in correct order. You're a child of God. You're a husband and a father, as well as a CEO of Sports and Spine. COO.
Almost CEO. And you might be speaking into quicker existence.
It's that one little letter, COO of Sports and Spine. You also have a boxer. And that you, manage? Is that about right?
Senior advisor.
What does that mean? And we're going to bring Dante, say it again.
Dante Benjamin.
Benjamin, there you go. I told you I was going to mess up. I was going to forget. What does that mean when you're the senior advisor?
So I'll give you the long story short.
Yeah.
Dante's father was my senior advisor through life. Dante's father passed 3 years ago.
Got you.
And this is taking the baton and passing it. Just so happens Dante is uniquely talented in many things, exceptional in boxing. Right. And per his contract, his fights, his marketing, whatever question he has, I'm of service to him.
Nice. So and I'm assuming you got a team.
Hell, he has a big team, yes.
I'm
one pillar of that team.
What's going on, Dante, man? What's your boxer name again?
Dante Free Smoke Benjamin.
All the smoke, man. How'd you get into boxing?
My dad had got me into boxing when I was 7 years old. I used to fight a lot. So I used to live on Buckeye, so I used to get home from school, fight a lot, and then my dad was like, we might as well put it towards something positive, keep me out of trouble. Right, we might as well put it, operationalize it. So are you pro or are you amateur? Professional.
Professional. And what age, how old are you now?
I'm 21. I turned pro at 19.
Okay. So you've been pro for a while. Yep. Talk a little bit about what it meant to you to transition over. Because I think I was talking to Dre one time and I asked about the Olympics and he reminded me that you were no longer eligible, for the Olympics. So your transition from amateur to pro, what was your thought process on that?
Really, it was just like, it was the timing. Everything was right. Me and my dad was having a conversation right before he passed away about me turning pro. So once he passed away, and then I had like a couple managements coming to look at me, watching me spar, and been watching me since I was amateur. Me and Dre talked, and me and my mother talked, and me and Safo talked, and we all decided it was the right time.
Yeah. And I think that's the important part, knowing the direct time. Now, I mean, Cleveland, Northeast Ohio has a pretty rich boxing history.
The richest.
Right.
I'll say it for you. The best. The best come from here.
I mean, let's be real. There's, you know, you hear a lot of times if you follow, Mike Tyson on TikTok or any, he talks a lot about his time or his boxing time and, or his time that he spent in Northeast Ohio, but there are more. Right. So can you talk a little bit about the history? Because I'm a novice, right? And it's always better for other people to talk that know a little bit more. Can you talk about the history of boxing in Cleveland?
Absolutely. If you are on social media, Ohio Runs Boxing does a great job at promoting Ohio boxers. But if you are a dog in the sport, you either are from the Midwest, from Ohio, or from where we're from. You have to go through our guys. You are the guy, or you going to face one of the guys.
Right.
That's the short summary of the history.
I got
That's
you.
from Mike at heavyweight to lightweight.
No, that's what I was saying. A lot of times we don't allow it. We see the flash, right? We see the big names, but we also don't understand the history because boxing go all the way down to what, early 20s?
I believe. The age doesn't matter. I think Dante started.
No. I mean like 1920s.
Oh, yes.
In Northeast Ohio.
Of the sport.
Yeah.
Yes.
I apologize.
Way before then for bare knuckles.
Was it? Okay. Yeah.
Before the 20s. Yes.
Yeah. So it's been a while. And are you a part of a gym now?
Yeah, I'm a part of a gym.
Shout out your gym for me.
DNA Boxing Level C in Maple, Ohio.
Maple. Okay. And so your dad saw potential in you. You fought as an amateur. Now, from your idea or from your, experience, what is the difference between amateur and pro for you specifically?
The difference really is like once you turn pro, everything slowed down more. Like when you amateur, the punches is just like, it's not really to hurt nobody, but it's just to score points, like combinations. But once you turn pro, it's like, okay, you want to make every punch count. So instead of throwing 10 punches, you're throwing 2 hard shots to make it count, so make them actually feel. But honestly, the same thing is the discipline. I think as an amateur, you kind of got to be more disciplined than a pro. Because in the amateurs, you fight a week straight. You could fight the best guy the first day and fight another best guy the last day. You fight 5 days straight, and you got to weigh in every single day. As a pro, we weigh in one day, get time to recover, and then fight the next day.
Go from there. And so it's been a while since you and I talked about it. Can you tell me a little bit more about Dante's accolades? Because you went over them, a while back, but I can't remember them all.
The man in the flesh is here. Currently, as a pro, 8-0, 6 knockouts.
Yep.
5 in the first round.
Yep.
Okay.
And 7-time amateur champion, 1-time world champion. If you were number 1, number 2, he's faced you, he's beat you.
Okay.
He's taken every fight that the promoters put in front of him. He's made weight every single time. If you don't know who Free Smoke is, once that right hand hits you, after the ref helps you on your feet, you definitely know who he is afterwards.
Good. When you're working, when you're going through that process of, getting prepared, what are some people you look up to? What's your routine in getting ready to actually get paid to get hit in the face?
By look up to, you mean like boxers that I look up to?
Whichever way you feel like it.
Well, I know one person I really look up to is my dad. Because I know like he used to work hard every single day of the week. Sunday to Sunday. So, and I know he used to make a lot of sacrifices, and then being a pro, I know I got to make the same sacrifices that he did. And then another person I look up to is my mom and then Dre. Okay. They both be there for me in different ways. My mom may yell at me. She may tell me something Dre tells me the same way, but she gonna yell it and he gonna tell me the calm way. So, and I like how they both no matter what, they gonna get what they want.
You got that blend.
Yeah.
I love that blend. So you had to get punched in the face professionally, that, I got punched in the face because I had to get up and go do things in life. But this is something you chose to do. What, right before you as an amateur, do you remember your first fight?
My first amateur fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
What do you remember about it?
I remember that, so I got in the ring.
Uh-huh.
My whole family was cheering me on. Everybody was there. And I just remember running out, starting and just throwing a whole bunch of punches.
That's what I was getting to, right? That's what if you were in the studio when I asked him about his first fight, his eyes lit up because you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And did you win or lose?
I won Silver Gloves tournament.
Nice. Okay. So how often, Dre, when you so you have one fighter, is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you want to go ahead and build on?
That's a question asked often. Mm-hmm. My relationship with Dante is a one-of-one.
Right.
And it's multi-tiered because my relationship with his father.
Yeah.
So I think I've harvested the talent to do it, but the love that I have for Dante is so different. And with everything else going on, it just have to be evaluated.
Yeah.
Also made a pact to him that I will not give anyone else what I give him. And he's blessed me, say, look, do your thing. But that's a commitment I wanted to make to him.
Because it's, being close to something can be, an issue, right? So one of the things that when an individual starts a business, the closer you are to the business, the less you can see, right? And so what I heard you say was, I'm right here with this dude, right? Mm-hmm. And so how difficult is it for you to let go of certain things, right? Because that's what you're talking about is parenting.
So I worked for him in this way. And that was the expectation for one. I advised that whomever's in this camp works for Dante Benjamin Jr. Inc. Mm-hmm. And if you treat yourself as a service, then you stay in your lane. It does not matter what I've accomplished or the other hats I wear somewhere else. If I have to get the young man some water, then I'm going to get the water. If I get the fruit, get the fruit. Mm-hmm. If he hires me to get someone to do it, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Therefore, the other thing, Eric, is if he wanted to be a math teacher, it'd be the same energy.
Yeah. That's and that's the other part. It just so happened that that's the sense that I'm getting. It's just so happened he's a boxer. If he wanted to be, right.
He's an entrepreneur too.
Right. If he wanted to do other things, I truly feel, or the energy that I'm getting is that you still would be there. So the mentorship, especially with black males, is something that I know for a fact that is within your heart because you and I have talked about it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take a quick break. And what I want you to do is when we come back, talk a little bit more about, one, professionally, right? So at Sports and Spine, what do you want to see the mentorship look like? Mm-hmm. And how do you want to go and flower some more? And then we're going to kick it into other areas of your passion for, for mentorships and being close. All right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So this is Unapologetically Strong on WOVU 95.9 FM. Welcome back from that break. WOVU 95.9. I'm your host, Eric King, on Unapologetically Strong. We got Brother Dre. We got Brother Dante. So we got to close this out. I know we having fun, but we got to close it out. So what I want you to do is first give, Dante, you can go first. Give some of your contact information and also when's your next bout or your next fight.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Tizzy Free Smoke 247, TIZZY Free Smoke 247. My next fight, we're working on that, but I'll have a date soon. Okay.
Make sure you email me or text me and I'll make sure whenever it's a Wednesday, I'll put it out there.
Absolutely.
Drake, go ahead. Where can the folks meet you?
So my Instagram is Mr. Russell, Mr._Russell 62. Mm-hmm. Pardon me, Mr. Russell _62. Tell you my age.
It's all good.
And sportspine.com. Andre at sportspine.com is the email address.
Got you. Mentorship is something that allowed you and I to connect because, I knew the mentorship that you had at Sports and Spine, the mentorship that you asked me about, and also, like I said, you helped me along the way to eventually craft some sort of, professional mentorship program at my practice. When we talk about mentorship for you, what else do you see yourself doing? So
that's a very good question. It's several things. I'm currently running our student program at Sports and Spine. We're now a partner with the Cuyahoga Juvenile Courts, which we're extremely excited about. And I'm a football coordinator and coach for 12-year-olds, males in the area.
Herding cats, brother.
A little bit, but we've had them for 3 years. So that's the excitement of mentorship and coaching is you start to see the flower bloom a little bit. I think for sports and spine, that 3.7% is very disheartening.
Yeah.
And a quick story is I'm a first generation graduate.
Right.
I came out of Toledo. I finished the top of my class in HR, but my cum was 3.0.
Right.
Honestly, I'm never getting into PT school with a 3.0. So we need to reach our young men and women when they're in the 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, if they have an interest in allied health, and really push towards academic excellence so they could get into DPT school or med school, which luckily at Sports and Spine, we have med students and PT students.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. What is the mix? So I know that you have individuals that are also in high school, right? Someone that supported me, she was in high school. Shout out, I can't remember her name, but she went to Brush. But you know, she went to Brush. She was in, I think, the 12th grade. Is that about right?
Yes.
And so you're grabbing them that early. So are you right now, when you're looking at Sports and Spine and you're looking at the landscape of PT, how intentional were you in creating the actual atmosphere that you have right now to flower or bring more as it relates to that 3%?
Extremely intentional. So we use words like meaningful wage job. The young lady who you're referring to, she's actually going to go to school to be an architect.
Gotcha.
But being around people who look like you, Black people who are positive, it changes your character.
Right.
And so these are skills that hopefully she can take and be the best at whatever it is she wants to do. So our motto is do what's best for you and your family at all times.
Right.
A lot of our students are interested in PT, but like myself, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know Black people drank water for no reason. I went to Sports and Spine.
Okay.
This was 20 years ago.
I got you.
Or ran races, half marathons, 5
for no reason.
Why would you run?
I see no point in it. I see no point. I got you.
Business casual dress.
Yep.
Everyone's teeth were white.
Right.
Everyone's hair was cut.
Right.
These were things that I saw if you were going to prom, if you're going to take your honey on a date, or if you were going out to the club. But our team was this way every day.
Okay.
So we packed carrots for lunch. I had never heard of that before. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful though. I mean, I know that we're laughing about it and we're not laughing as in at least I'm not laughing in a negative way. It's just the beauty in experiencing, right? Because when you allow yourself to open up and experience more, that's where you actually do well, right? That whole concept of this is the way it has been and the way that it's going to be is what keeps individuals down.
So that is why we have the student program. We have to be a beacon for example and for hope in our community.
Right.
And sometimes it starts with the young man or woman likes my car. Or as for me, I like the gentleman's watch.
Right.
Sometimes it starts that simple. Yeah. You get into the clinic or you get into one of our operations and you see everything that goes into that. You may come in and I'm our front desk receptionist.
Right.
So the humility, it's not humility for me, but someone will say, you've accomplished X, Y, and Z, you answer the phone. Every patient needs the best experience possible.
Amen.
And all of our job is to do that.
And you have students that are currently in high school, and then you said med students as well?
College students and then graduate students. And so our med student had some interest in PT. He wanted to go into medicine. And I believe he was going to be great anyway.
Right.
But I think our organization and experience played a small role in that.
Right.
And he just got into PT school this spring. We are ecstatic about it. But our environment helped him in another endeavor that wasn't PT. Yeah. And that's what we want to be for everyone.
And the interesting part is, the concept of PT has grown over these past 20 years. Because when we thought about PT or physical therapy, we didn't think in this way. We didn't think in the way, and what I mean, let me be a little bit more specific. We looked at it as something that was on the side or something that was prescribed to us holistically. But now, for me, I walked in because I ran a little bit and I felt a little tweak. And so now the concept of working on your body in a more systematic way is something that we're seeing now. Do you suspect that 3% because of this new entryway into taking care of our body? Do you see that skyrocketing?
I don't see it skyrocketing, unfortunately. I think we have to work very hard to start to move the needle.
Yeah.
And it's education. So PT isn't for just stroke victims, MVA, or athletes, as you say.
Say that again, actually.
Not just for MVA, motor vehicle accident, stroke, or some catastrophic injury. You can have pain and see us.
Yeah.
The other barrier to entry is a doctorate level degree required.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so DPT is doctor of physical
therapy. I got you.
And is extremely competitive.
Yeah.
So some schools have 150 seats. They'll have 3,500 applicants. Okay. Which means my example 3.0 won't get in.
I guess my next question is, so I'm always looking for, micro industries or micro professions. Are there any HBCUs that
so
provide?
The AAPT, American Academy of Physical Therapy, works solely with private practices like ourselves and be a big light for HBCUs and African Americans want to get into PT.
Okay.
However, the bar is the bar. It's still 3.6, 3.7 to get in.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna be perfectly candid. I mean, as brilliant as we're producing, in these HBCUs, 3.6 and 3.7 is capable, because if someone says that, to be an engineer, because we're making engineer, right? In HBCUs, we're making doctors, Morehouse in HBCUs. So I definitely, the more that this concept is out there, the more that we're going to see more, individuals, especially at the HBCU. I'm always going to look at them first.
Absolutely. PT has consistently been in the top 5 professions in our country in the United States.
Good.
And is it's a higher meaningful wage job. You're not making
I was about to say that.
a little bit of money coming out. But it's private practice, it's travel.
Yeah.
Young people have autonomy to choose their own destiny now.
Yeah, I don't like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's America and it's capitalism.
As a father.
Definitely. Eric, may I give my ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
So obviously at Sports and Spine, we want the young, brilliant minds to have an experience with us, which sportspine.com, our student program under careers, those are the prereqs on how to be considered for our program.
Okay.
But my biggest ask for the city of Cleveland, as a youth football coach coming from the projects, I don't care how you're getting your money, men and women, but if you are in a community and you're able to go to the club and splurge on VIP or bottles, make sure your community's team has the best of everything. This is a personal challenge to the men and women who are running our communities.
Gotcha.
Whether you're in C-suite like me, whether you're in the streets, whether you're a barber, whether you're a professional athlete. Let's not see our young men and women at these events, these tournaments with hand-me-downs, scratched helmets, jerseys from 3-4 years ago, because the costs to sew into these young men and women are a microcosm of what we're spending in these clubs and on the other stuff. And I want to see all the leaders in the neighborhood get behind their community and put the best product out for these young men and women.
I appreciate that. All right. You over there? You good? Dante.
Yeah, I'm good. I was just listening.
No, it's all good. So what I do want to know, because we got about a minute left. How do you foresee yourself pouring into someone just like the way Dre poured into you?
I don't know. I feel like I got like my family. It's like I got a little cousin. So he about 16 years old. So about 2 summers ago, he was living with me on the right track. Then he moved back in with his mom and everything like that. So it got back a little shaky. Yeah. But I feel like the way that Dre helps me, I can help him, and I can always help him become a better person. So
I like that, because the idea is each one reach one, teach one. And so what Dre is doing for you, you have to do it for somebody else, and it's for your kids, yes, but also, 1 to 2 other people. That's my task, and that's my ask. Well, I appreciate, we got the COO of Sports and Spine. I got it right. I got it right. Andre Russell, 40 under 40. Man, thank you. For coming out. Dante, thank you for coming out. All the best, all the great luck and love that you got going on. So thank you guys for listening. Next week is Wellness Wednesday. We're going to have Sister Steph in here, and hopefully we're going to stay on topic. But in any case, thank you guys for listening. This is Unapologetically Strong on WOVU 95.9 FM. Peace.